Welcome to Heathen Garage! On this episode, we're finally back to the Desoto. It's been a while. Now, hopefully you guys have seen this car before. We've done a 3 episodes on it. And it's finally time that we get back at it. Now, the main goal here is by spring, and it's currently fall, is that we get this thing ready to pass what's called out-of-province inspection. And for that, basically everything has to work like it's factory. It's got to have brakes and lights and no rust, and we can have patina, that's okay, but no, like, you can't put your finger through it anywhere kind of thing. So we're going to get this thing into the garage and get it prepped to start working on it. I want to get it off the ground, get all the wheels off, and see what we're looking at, basically. Now you ride in the back, Elvis. Oh, come back here. Oh, Elvis, you ride in the back. Yeah, go ahead, Luna. Elvis, come here. Oh, get out of there. Oh, Elvis, you're right in the back. Come on. In you go. See, it's easy to get in back there for you. Good dog. Careful. Just in case you've never seen this thing, here's the details. I know it's a 1950 Desoto. I think it was called a Custom. And it's a sedan. I'm not very good with details, if we're honest. I can't even remember what size engine. It's a 258 or a 240, or it's, 6 in a row, ready to tow or ready to go or whatever. Anyways, what we know is it'll probably start, and I bet you we can drive over there. So that's what we're gonna do. Now that we're inside, you're probably wondering what we're going to do with this thing. I'll tell you. We're going to work on it. That's the big plan, isn't it, Al? Hey, you figured that out. I know the bear. You guys can come out if you want. Are you going to come out? Good boy. You're going to stay for a while? Okay. Now, if you guys have been keeping up on Cruise Culture Magazine, a few months back, you'll see an issue that this car's in. Now, it's not on the cover or anything, because this is the first time I bought a camera, and, well, the pictures, Brian did me a solid putting them in. Let's just put it that way. But regardless, I did write the article, and I explained what this thing needs, which is an out-of-province inspection. And if you don't know what that is, well, essentially it's a really tough inspection that it has to pass in order for me to drive it legally on the road. Now, I would like to drive this legally on the road, so it needs a lot of things. Essentially, Everything has to work the same way it was supposed to when it was new. It doesn't have to lose the patina. We can keep that, but it can't have any rust holes. All the brakes have to work. The heater has to work. The lights have to work. There has to be some semblance of floorboards and interior. The seats have to be bolted down. It has to start reliably, drive properly. You know, there's lots of things. So the mission today is get the thing up on jack stands. Then we can start hunting for tires, wheels, and brake parts, windshields, and everything else this is going to need to pass that heavy duty inspection. Oh boy. I sometimes really wonder why I get myself into these situations. Yeah, I know. It would be more fun to go for a car ride today, wouldn't it, guys? But that's just not what we're doing today, guys. We're hanging out in the shop today, okay? Okay. You gonna come out this time? Are you guys gonna come out now? Hey, come out of there. Good dog. This is gonna be a long day. Fingers and toes. Oh boy, don't tip over on me now. Why are you doing that? Why did that happen? Why is my jackstand moved so much? I don't like that at all. The floor is level. It's okay for a second. How's the other one? Okay, new plan. We're gonna jack it up by the frame and fix our jackstand. That seemed much less dramatic. Duly noted for the future. If you don't like the blue jack stands I'm using at the back, the good news is I've got these red ones for the front. Alright, now that we're up in the air high enough that I can see, I'm going to roll underneath, shout out everything I see that's obvious that we're going to have to deal with in the near future before it ever goes to inspection. Oh. Needs tires, rocker panel, shock absorbers in the rear have leaked out, differential pinion seal, fuel tank has a leak, muffler's not approved, flop in rear U-joint, floor brace mount is rusty, brace for cab mount, rusty, transmission output seal leaking, transmission mount is leak degradation, seal brake lines, rust, front shock leaked out, rubber torn on outer tie rod boot, pre-stipple working on lower control arm, bumper mount well cracked, keys head on passenger side front wheel well. So what we're learning is basically this thing has no problem, and it's just like we're going to put some tires on it and send it to inspection. It'll be fine. No, that's not how it is. We got some work to do. Given the fact that we have a pretty big list already, we may as well continue adding to it. We're going to take the wheels and tires off and see what the brakes look like. We'll pull the hub apart and stuff. Now, something worth noting is some old cars, and I believe it is rather particular to the Opar variety of things, they'll have an L on the bolt or nut. In this case, it's a bolt. That means left. And it doesn't mean turn left to go loose. It means left-hand thread, and you want to go right to go loose, which is just how it is. I'm not saying I understand the logic or I agree with it, but that's how it is, so it don't matter. My, that is a sight of cobwebs there, I tell you what. Yeah, this has not been disturbed for a while, that's for sure. Now, just on the off chance that somebody's never taken wheel bearings like this apart, well, I'll show you how I do it. I'm not saying it's right. It's just the way somebody told me how to do it. So that's how I do it. It seems to continue working. First of all, you spin this, and then you find that there's a rough spot because, you know, it hasn't moved for a long time. And you want it to be not in that rough spot because that'll drag when you're trying to pull it off. That'll be annoying. We're going to hope that we can pull it off without adjusting the brakes too far. Now you just tap on this and pull at the same time. Don't beat the snot out of it. If you put a dent in it, you hit too hard. If that doesn't work, you can get a little screwdriver or pry bar in here and hopefully it'll come out that way. But you shouldn't be putting dents in this trying to get it out. Just no need for that. Just little baby tap. Come on out of there. Out. There we go. No new dents. Only the old dents. Now, there's going to be a cotter pin. This is the same for your RV or anything too, by the way. Well, it's basically the same anyways. Kind of depends on you. Maybe that's too general of a statement. Some RVs are kind of like this too. Matter of fact, most RVs that I've ever worked on. Now, cotter pin's out. Now this nut, if you grab it and you turn it by hand and it's loose, don't panic, okay? Just mean the last guy that did it, well, he believed in the theory of loose is better than tight because loose will wreck a seal, but it won't overheat or something. I can't, maybe I shouldn't try and speak for the last guy. Now that that nut's off, you just pull it back. There's an outer bearing and a washer with a key hole thing in it. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Take that off. Now slide this off the rest of the way. It'll be tight against shoes if there's anything left of them, or if it's close to adjustment, it'll be off. Look at that. They're off. There isn't what I'd call lots of brakes left here, but there's some. We're definitely aiming for minimum spec at least, because we have to pass that out of province. But we don't care if it's like close to minimum. Like, we're not going to change them for nothing because it's not going to see that many miles that I need to worry about putting new brakes on it like I'm going to put 100,000 miles. Like, I'm going to drive this around, but, you know, we're talking a few thousand miles, not millions of miles or hundreds of thousands. There's grease on my hand. I just wiped it on something. Isn't that interesting? Now, this is kind of a neat old one, so I'll show you. The brake line comes in the back over here, into the cylinder, in this little slave, which pushes that way, but not this way. It's just secured against this pin, see? Now it goes through the cylinder, into this little line, down to the other cylinder, and pushes that one that way. It's got two little slaves, and one goes that way and one goes that way. And this one always gets activated first, which is why I assume that this is way more worn out than that one. Now somehow we're going to have to find a spec on what wore out really is, because we hope that this isn't totally wore out. Like, it's obviously less than the other one. Functionally, it probably has 10 or 15,000 miles left in it. But legally, I don't know what it's got left in it. So we're just going to have to find out. Now, the good news is what we don't see here is any big leak. The rubber hose doesn't technically have any cracks or bulges in it. And it's not like rusty on the fitting. So maybe it's a pass. If I can get them, I'm going to get them because I don't like old rubber hoses. Just not the place that I usually mess around. The brakes, we'll see. We're going to have to get a spec on that shoe before we can decide whether we have to find new linings or get them made or whatever has to happen. But the good news is, most importantly of all, is these slave cylinders don't seem to be leaking. And they actually look like they must have been replaced shortly before it was parked because they look just good. Is all they're... That's what there is to say about that. They're going to be fine, hopefully. Now, I got kind of ambitious and I was going to pull the back apart, and then I realized that there's a special tool to get these drums off, because this is like an old style Chrysler 8 3/4. It's a really good differential, but you need a thing to get this off, and I don't have that thing with me. Basically, you pull the knot in the cotter pin, and then you bolt this puller deal on, and it's got 3 fingers and a deal that pokes on the middle of the axle, and then you smash it with a hammer until it pops, and then you pull it off the old tapered shaft thing. But I don't have it here. I'm gonna have to beg, borrow, steal, plead, something to get one. So that's the future episode of Heathen's Garage. Since we can't go any further on the driver's side, let's just have a peek at the passenger side and see what that can offer us. Oh dear. They're frightening to take off. See, this one's a different color. There's rocks in the hubcap. This wheel's a different color underneath of there. Interesting. Oh, well, that's fine. Now these say right on, which means you're gonna go left to go off. Well, they don't say right, they just have R. Up you go. The cobwebs, man, they just never stop. Where's my tools? Not here. One more time, in case you were distracted the first time. Find the spot where it's the loosest, right about there. Tap, tap. Gentle. No new dents, don't forget. Gentle. Cap off. Okay. Cotter pin. Bend her straight. Knock her out. Put her in the little spot. Then the nutsy off. Again, does not need much tension on there. Or any tension. Or maybe there's a spec for how many thous of play you'd like. There probably is. Looser's better than too tight. At least that's what most guys will tell you. Not every guy, but most guys. There is probably a proper spec for it. Off. And there we are. Another one out. Now, this grease looks like it's the same deal. Like it looks like brand new almost, which is interesting. Now we care again. Does it have any leak? Now this, well, maybe. There may be moisture on this one. We'll have to actuate it and try it a little bit. There's a little more shoe on this side. I bet this one will pass and the other one won't. That's what I think is going to happen. But we'll have to buy them all if we have to buy them. Either way, no big surprises and nothing looks bad. So that's better than everything looking bad. Nothing looks that good either, but at least it's not like puking brake fluid out. So that's a big bonus. You never know, we might get away without too many bucks spent yet. That, there's no surprises there, and that's kind of a bonus. I think I'm going to end the episode there, because like, there's a ton to do on this. This is going to be a multi-part series. We can feel that coming already. So, you know, I got a pork shoulder in the smoker, and I kind of am just slightly more interested in that than taking this thing further apart. So, we're going to call the episode today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the subscribers. And hey, if you haven't subscribed, well, I'd appreciate it. We're real close to that 1,000 mark. You know, I'd like to get to that 1,000 mark in the first year. I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.